far is too far when it comes to sexual education in schools? Well, tonight, President of the Bahamas Educators, Councillors, and Allied Workers Union shares her thoughts on what would be the best approach on teaching students about sex. This comes after a parent complained that her child was exposed to an uncomfortable sexual lesson in the classroom. Here's that story.
It's on television. It's in their cartoons. It's in all the songs that they listen to. So you sensitize a generation, you say to them, and they say, oh, this is okay because everybody is doing it. Everybody doing it does not make it right.
That was the response of the president of the Bahamas Educators, Councillors, and Allied Workers Union, Sandra Major, when asked about a recent scenario where a teacher at a junior high school played a video about sexual activity, which included homosexuality.
The social studies teachers have never taught this. What it is they were talking about AIDS. This is social studies, of course, would speak to the issues in the society. And in the curriculum, AIDS is one of those. And the video used is the video that has always been used throughout the time. And there is one sentence in it that speaks to how AIDS was introduced way back when. And it speaks to the fact that it began with homosexuals.
Now, while the video did not show anything explicit, a student in the class reported to their parent that they felt uncomfortable during the class and was confused as to why the teacher would expose students to this type of conversation.
Information affects people differently. And whatever the person, be it a boy or a girl who saw it, just thought it was too much for them. Maybe the conversation has to happen. The conversation has to happen. How do we make sure that everyone understands what we're doing, the reason why? Because again, we live in a society we can't isolate our children. Because if you don't tell them, somebody else will.
Just recently, the idea of transgender education in local schools was a hot-button topic, as some argued that children should learn about what's going on in the world, and others argued that exposing them to this would only be pushing the agenda to influence one's sexuality. When asked the union's stance on this,
they do not endorse it, and they will not. And of course, our industrial agreement also speaks to it. 18.4 speaks to the fact that teachers have the freedom to engage as much as possible with whatever thing they need to do, but they cannot, shall not. It speaks to it. And when you say shall, it means you shall not introduce lewd, pornography, or any of those things to our children in this school to persuade them in any type of way in a learning environment.